from morning to evening, except in sleep, we have to make decisions all the time, every moment. We don't think so, because we think all is going like always, and we just go on with the routine. But if we are really attentive to what's happening inside and outside of ourselves, we have to decide all the time. Am I going to distract myself, have a talk with my mobile phone and going to click on files or on the computer, or whether I'm going to sit down on my Zazen and meditate. For instance, I mean, this is just an example, but the Buddhist point of view is, of course, our decisions have to be, or should be made in the balanced state. And the balanced state is a state that is beyond all definitions. It's a state where we decide half unconsciously. It's not the kind of unconscious which is the automatism of our normal state. Means we are just going on. It's an awake state. It's an awake state, but it's not. It's really beyond thinking. It's action. It's that what is called action in Buddhism. And as Dogen describes this state in almost all the chapters of Shobogenzo, but there's one particularly interesting chapter which is called the if I could remember.
You can tell it German, you
It's
can translate.
Huh?
You can tell it German and translate.
Yeah, it's das würdevolle Handeln der Buddhas. It's the
Würdevolle?
Huh?
Würdevolle?
Yes. The very
dignified
behavior of the Buddhas. And he talks about how Buddhas behave, how they act. And it's very strange. It was very strange to me in the beginning when I translated it, and I was thinking it sounds like, it's totally unconscious, it's like in a dream. And actually he's describing the balanced state in Zazen. It's the same state. It's neither this nor that. It's always beyond the opposites. But you can't explain. Because action is not something you can explain. It's doing. Doing without doing. It's action with our near environment and with the whole universe at the same time. And it's action beyond conscious thinking, which doesn't mean that there is no thinking. There is thinking, but it's of a different kind. This is how he describes action. And this is ideally the kind of action, the kind of decision making we should practice. Okay?
Thank you.
I don't know whether it's clear, but action is action. You can't really go into detail because it's every moment it's different. It's just changing all the time. It's the instantaneousness of our lives and of the whole universe. So how can you grasp it? You can't. It's reality. So of course our decisions usually are quite different because we live in reality, all of us, at every moment, but we can get quite far of it and act in the way that we act according to our human way. Yes, just it's deluded because the base of our decisions is usually a kind of analysis of the situation.
Yeah, that's what.
Huh?
That's what I meant, like overthinking the decision before taking action.
I didn't quite understand.
Thinking too much about something before doing.
Yes. Actually, it's a habit. It's just in our genes, I think. It's a bad habit, and it's very difficult to get out of it. To think and think and think and think, and then make the decision. It's not wrong to think. I mean, Master Dogen never really judges thinking as something bad, but as far as action is concerned, we just have to get out and we often do get out without knowing. So the key he gives us is just to do completely, profoundly, go into one thing at a time. And this is the just daily action, do. And in doing it completely, we become one, not divided. And this is the key. And it's not simple. We have to take over this habit and not the habit of thinking. This is the big deal. Trying to really live in the moment. See what's happening. Act spontaneously out of the balanced state. And it's actually the key for happiness. Thinking of the talk yesterday. It really, that is the key, being able to live in every moment in that state of balance, and things are much more easier to handle, actually. Anybody can try it and see it for himself. It's not a dogma, it's just life. And it's the best way to live. But we have to know that it's quite a lot of work to do until we can realize it. But there are many moments in our life we do it unconsciously and we don't even realize it. That's the same. We don't realize that many decisions we do in our daily life are unconscious, are really beyond this kind of knot in there, in the brain. It's lovely that it is like that. It's a good question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other good question or bad question or stupid question? Any question is good.
If no one else has. It's very similar question, I suppose. About human nature, you say human nature is ultimately good, but at my age, I realize what's good for me, and I have choices. For example, not eating too much fat or sugar is not good, but even though knowing the fact that it's no good for me, I always do something opposite. For example, my struggle is meditation. I realize how wonderful it is, but there's always opposing force of I'm too tired, the time, and why? What is it? Why is it? Do I have this bad habit? But I wonder, is a habit, bad habit? When I encounter my child, it's almost human nature to oppose to something that is good for him. I say, don't do that, you might get hurt, but he will never ever listen.
Yes, it is
It's
actually.
almost like automatic reaction.
Ah,
So I wonder about, it's a human nature to not act on that's going to be beneficial, but rather that's not so beneficial. Just like meditation and investing the time, even though I know it's very good for me.
yeah. Good question, yeah.
So what's the
What
source?
do we know? You're talking, is it our human nature? What do we know really about our human nature?
And why do you think we sabotage ourselves like that?
We
Sabotage ourselves. Sabotage?
Sabotage.
sabotage. Okay. Oh, that's a nice word. We sabotage ourselves.
When I look at my child, he does, even when he was few months old, as long as he understood, he would not do the positive beneficial things, but rather dangerous.
He has to make his experience. I think that's very important. So he has to see by himself. And maybe that's the profound reason that he has this opposition, because this is your experience of life, and you want to transmit it, but experience one cannot transmit. One can only transmit words or some kind of behavior, maybe say, yeah, don't do it. But actually, it is necessary to experience all of life. And we have to see for ourselves. The best teacher is life. You know, it's, of course it's normal that you try to kind of push him into the beneficial things for him, but it's almost useless.
But myself, why do I sabotage
Yes.
myself?
Why do we sabotage ourselves? That's a good question. Why do we do?
Because you say children naturally wants to try,
Yes.
even crazy things,
Yes.
try, like you said,
Yes.
because they want to see.
Yeah.
What is it like? Oh, it hurts. Okay.
Yeah.
But why adult people do it? We already know it's something
Yeah.
wrong, and we still smoke too much, or eat too
Yeah.
much, or don't sleep, or
Yeah.
Don't meditate.
It's yeah, it's
we misbehave,
Yes.
break rules, or
There's
crazy things.
There's this division in us. You know, the division of the world we are experiencing right now, especially I feel it in my country, which is Germany. Problems of refugees is dividing the country. There's some they want to, they say Angela Merkel is right, we should let them all come and welcome. And the others, they say, oh no, we need a big, very high wall. We don't want them. And we don't know what is really to do. It's because we are human beings, you know. We are no gods. We are no perfect machines. We are really kind of confused beings, and the main point is the problem is our consciousness. The fact of being conscious of the extreme and then choosing only one side. And this is one point, but consciousness, even scientists nowadays don't know what consciousness really is. Consciousness is also the key to wake up to reality. It's just how you use it which makes the difference. So, if you know that, or if we know we are deluded, we can make our effort to use our brain, our faculty to think, our sense organs, our feelings, and change. But it needs effort. And this effort is something, unfortunately, cannot be transmitted by the genes. Everybody himself has to do it in every generation. It's once we wake up to that fact that we have to make the effort, even if we don't like it, it does make a big difference. Because we can put the things in our brain on their place, where they belong to, which means we function in society. The same is true for feelings. Feelings are good, but if they, we get carried away, no, it gets us into trouble. So if you know that it's necessary, if you're really clear on that, that is the same mind we are using to be deluded and to wake up. Actually, it's not so difficult to make the effort in that direction. So anyway, I think you shouldn't be worried about not being happy to do meditation. It is not always easy, and it's not always happy. It's quite a job. So if you prefer running, it's okay. But running is not Zazen. There's always, if you can let go of everything and run, yes. But it's easier to have the zafu and at home. So running is complicated. You have to find a wood, and you have to find good circumstances. Anyway, deluded or not, that's our life. What do you think?
Don't you think that conditions
Yes.
in our life is a part of the question? Because if you, for example, want to transform your habit, it might be helpful to transform your conditions. For example, concerning my meditation practice,
Yes.
when I, few years ago, when I, tried to practice meditation on a regular basis, it was quite difficult.
Yes.
If I just decided to practice when I want, or when I have time, or you know
Yes.
what I mean. But at the moment when I created conditions for my practice, which means I set up a certain place and certain time, stable time
Yes.
for the practice, it helped a lot. So one day I decided, okay, I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I just go to my zafu and practice my meditation. And it was a very small decision, just at 6 o'clock every morning. And I think, from my perspective, that it changed my habit in a way. So
Yes.
I don't need to fight to get up and sit every
Yeah.
morning these days. So I think that conditions, or creating conditions, or transforming conditions, might be helpful to maybe transform a habit or change a habit.
I think actually the most difficult on the way we are practicing is to change habit. Something tremendously deeply rooted in our life. Change habit is really true. It's very difficult, and your decision, get up early and have a stable and real daily practice, that's a great decision. And it's probably something everybody can do. But it's just to really understand why we're doing it. Really do it. Just do it. Just do it, It's no matter of thinking, oh yes, I should, but oh, there's this and there's this. This is what we are doing usually. But just do it. It's all, I hear all this in my little group I have in Dresden, and I say, yes, I want to come, but there's always this and there's always that, and I really want to come. It's always that. You have to do it. Buddhism is something about doing. It's not about thinking. And it's not about feelings, having feelings about it. It's just doing it. And this is, I guess it's always been difficult even in Buddha's time. It's human. It's a human problem. It's difficult because we are human beings. There's a nice book of Nakagawa Roshi. He's a Japanese Soto master in the south of Germany. He has a big center, monastery. Human beings. And And then he writes all the difficulty and the solution to the difficulties. And it's all, it comes down to that. We just have to do it. There's the decision, but actually the decision and the doing is the same. So that's it. But it's helpful what you said, really. Try to change conditions, yes. And it's actually the best way. My teacher, Nishijima Roshi, he practiced every morning. He got up, I think 5 o'clock, because he had a long way for his going to his office. And he got up 5 o'clock, and he had 45 minutes, as we did in the dojo where I lived for many years. And every day, and if you do that, tell me, 30 years, 40 years, wow, that's it. I was frankly speaking, I never had that discipline. But I believed him that he did it. He did it because he did it. He decided it. Well, I'm not Japanese. Yes, it's just very simple, as I said in the beginning. But the simple things you might notice are the most difficult in this world. It's true. We like to complicate.
Do you think there is, in your beginning, where you started practicing Buddhism, is the perspective in that moment, a perspective of a Buddhist way?
Buddhist way?
Way.
Uh-huh.
If I make a decision now,
yes,
and then maybe I feel or I see or I don't know how to explain, I see or I don't see a Buddhist way. It is there or it is not there? Or
you're talking about...
If you understand me, but every moment you decide or you make such a decision, it's very, very clear.
Yes, it is.
Because you know why. But if you see something further or not, if you can see something further or not, I mean in a picture of a Buddhist way, or because your life it's an example.
Yes.
It's you can touch.
Yes.
Of a Buddhist way. Maybe you don't.
Yes, of course.
Yes, okay.
The Buddhist way is not a special way. It's life itself.
Yeah, okay, but it's not like other people.
I don't understand quite what you mean.
Okay.
Can you try to...
I don't understand.
Jak to myslíš? Řekni to česky, jako slovensky.
Či tam existuje na začiatku toho rozhodnutia aj nejaký moment, že človek vidí, že ide na buddhistickú cestu.
A to sa týka jako motivace?
Áno, to sa týka motivácie, ale aj nejakého poznania v danom momente, alebo videnia v danom momente.
Well, I think it's a kind of difficult question, but I think it's a problem concerning your motivation or seeing some kind of wider perspective. What do you want to achieve in your life, or meaning the
Yes.
of, whether your life is useful or, you know.
You're using yourself? Okay, good.
Well, I can just talk about my experience. And when I started Zazen, well, I kind of fall into it. I had while sitting and in a group actually, it's very simple. I could feel something which intuitively was very clear that I'm going to continue. It is very difficult to explain what it was, but it really came out of a concrete experience in Zazen. So there was no perspective. I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm on the way, I want to do this because, and so on. But I knew I'm going to go back to that place. I'm going to continue because there's something it wasn't even something I like. It's something indescribable. Something ineffable, which really, inside myself. But outside, I mean with the other people, and with the fact of this posture and really hell of pain I had in my legs. It wasn't, how would I say, it was purely intuitive. And first I started go only once a week, because I thought the pain was horrible. Then I kind of, for a few months, and then I said, no, I'm trying more. So I went twice a week, and then it kind of increased, and then it's amazing. It's actually not very different from what I feel now. It's not, there is no kind of way or perspective or something. It's just kind of happens. It happens. And it's not in your control. It's not kind of, I wasn't kind of thinking, wow, yes, this is. I had always these two sides. It's so painful, and I don't like the people, and the group wasn't all that wonderful. Human beings. In groups you have all sorts of problems. So, but only for Zazen I came, and then after that, I went home. So it suddenly kind of become rather clear after a few years. I'm talking about years. I'm not talking about months. That there was some effect on my life. Real concrete effect. I wasn't I wasn't going up and down, you know, very high waves in my life, you know, kind of, oh, it's wonderful, oh, yeah. And then, real bad depression, having doubts about myself. So it was gradually the waves were becoming a little bit more, less high. So my attitude changed towards things in my life, towards what I considered really important, like having a social life with many friends, doing my job, and doing it more or less not so interested. And but all sorts of things I thought. So it came kind of naturally, I would say. And luckily in the dojo, they told us, don't have a goal, just let it, not even the state, the balanced state, or the emptiness, or what. So it kind of could grow naturally, because the danger is that people, when they engage in that kind of practice, they become very focused on it, and they think that they have to do something special. It's something special they're doing. And this was lucky that really what I heard from the teachers there, they were all students of Deshimaru Roshi. They said what is a very good definition of how it happened is sticking to the world of phenomena is cause of suffering. But sticking to the truth or some kind of special thing is not enlightenment. So it's very nice. It's in the Zandokai. Very old scripture. It's true. So at this point, it was important, and I was lucky. I was just living, doing my job, having my friends, living a social life, and so on. But I had this thing which became more and more important. But inside. So I don't know whether it has to do with your question. So this is my experience. I can't say anything else. And I think the problem is very much particularly in Zen groups, is that people think it's something special. And it's not easy in the beginning because it's new, it's something you are impressed. Just keep this balance between that practice and your daily life. That's the balanced state. Always keep that and just practice, even when you don't like it. And if you like it too much, it's just as bad. Don't hate it, don't like it. Don't choose. Just do it. I think that's all. But it's difficult. Just do it. And you will eventually, I think in any case, at some point, you will really know that you need it. That you need it. But don't think it's special. Actually, after doing it quite a long time, sometimes I like it. Sometimes I say, oh yes, I have to practice. And if sometimes conditional like that, I can't practice for a few days, I do feel it. My mind, my body, is different. It is. It really is. Anybody can feel it. Okay? So that's why I make a little dojo in Dresden. Because we are all the same, you know. We all have to have our wild horse in our mind, going. And the more we go on in this modern world, which is our world, which is a human-made world, the more we go on that, I feel, we need to balance out. I feel it's almost a duty for human beings to come back to balance. And I feel it right away so much in my own country right now, where right wing, left wing, it's terrible. So I think it's very important to practice yourself. And it's important to have a group practice together. I wonder whether it's time.
Yeah, just
10
seconds.
Good.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your really wonderful questions.
And